So, Andrew Tate, far as I'm aware, he's been detained for 30 days or he's in prison or something, apparently, some BS charges of human trafficking or something, who the hell knows. Let me say this, I do not follow Andrew Tate, I don't know about the guy. However, what little that I have heard from him makes me like the guy a lot. Why? Because he's unashamedly masculine and he riles and pisses off all the right people. And in this godforsaken timeline we happen to find ourselves in, you judge a man by his enemies. And Tate has a good list of enemies. Why? Because he says dangerous things like be a man, be strong, screw the draconian globalist environmentalism bollocks. He's praised Trump for being uncontrollable, said the Matrix is rigged following the classic red pill line. Because the machine does not want men to think, be strong, be masculine, be self-sufficient. No, they want you weak, physically and mentally, sick and stupid, subservient, a serf. They want to destroy any identity and loyalty to God, land, and family. Why? Because if you're atomized, isolated, away from other sources of information, you are easier to propagandize and manipulate, to mold into the perfect mindless consumer. Look at how the left operate, in a vacuum, distilled, a single source of information from the machine, like an IV, pumped directly into their empty heads. And because of that, they have no capacity to think. Remember what I said in the Pokemon video? That the intellectual class's sway has devolved thanks to the internet, and the game's new currency is influence? Watch this.
What people don't understand is why influence is so important. This is why I'm saying here and adamantly stating that they're going to try and kill me if they're not already thinking about it already, because I know how influential I am. And influence is everything.
Told you.
The reason there is a war right now in regions of Ukraine is so that somebody gets to be in charge and influence the population. He gets to influence how they think, he gets to influence the language they speak, influence the currency they use. Influence. There are machines of war and destruction in the fields of Ukraine right now, and thousands of men a day dying for influence. The media machine, the only reason they pump it into every airport and put it all over the TV and convince you to believe in it is so they can influence you. The only reason you go to school is so the teacher can influence your mind. The reason the algorithms of social media platforms decide to show you the videos they show you is to influence you. People say, oh, you had a big following, but that's not enough reason to kill you. Oh, you mean I could influence the world? That's not enough reason to kill me. All they fucking want to do is influence people. It's the number one most important thing on the planet. Influence is all this has ever been about. So when you become the most Googled man on earth and you're influencing people in the opposite direction, it would be ignorant for me to see and not understand there are people sitting around thinking, how do we make this guy go away? And the answer was cancel me, and they failed. So what's answer two? It's a scary realization, but it's the truth. I know this intimately. It's absolutely not only a bottom line fact, it's a fact. But this is where we come into what we were saying earlier, again, about baseline moralities. As a religious man, I can't sit and lie. I can't sell my soul and ignore my own eyes. I can't sit and tell people things that I know aren't true, because then I'm going to struggle with myself. The battle continues. You either fight against them or you fight against yourself. You have to make a choice. I can't fight against my soul and my heart and my mind. I want them to be on my side, so I must fight against the Matrix. And if they kill me, I didn't kill myself. And that's the end of it. And I'm going to do my very, very best to stay alive. But if they really want you, they'll get you.
We need to protect Top G.
Now, one thing that I am very good at is pattern recognition. Mainly because the patterns are easy as hell to recognize these days. Almost too easy. To the point where you start getting somewhat suspicious about it. Because if you're clued in and you can see the sugar bumps with phrases like disinformation, misinformation, which you know is complete bollocks, and even though you know these people are basically programmed and beyond help, when you see them swallow the same line over and over and over again, there is something in the back of your mind, isn't there? That there must be some layers of complexity to all of this because these people cannot possibly be this thick. Something occurred to me a few days ago when I was thinking about all of this. The left operate on a very basic hierarchy, and they definitely still have one, don't let them fool you. It's sheep and shepherd, that's it. And if you notice, the purity spiral is more intense the further down you go. Why? Because that is to denote obedience, servile and stupid. And as long as the shepherds can convene and defend each other in the eyes of the sheep, convince them anyone outside of the sphere is a wolf, an existential threat, they can literally get away with murder in plain sight. Permanent blindness. All they need is to get the sheep to believe the other poses a bigger threat and the sheep will swallow anything. And notice, no one who opposes them can have any redeeming qualities whatsoever. The people they despise are held to a higher standard they themselves don't even adhere to, Because again, as long as opposition worse, murder. It's very convenient, that one, isn't it? It's almost like, it's a cult. This is why I said previously, to the sane, facts are hard, politics are malleable. To the insane, politics are hard, facts must be malleable. Insert facts that are not malleable, error. Same with the language. Their whole communication mechanism has been reduced to respond to noises we used to call words. There's no more definitions. It's just positive, negative, that's it. It's insert noise type A or B leads to respond accordingly type X or Y. And you can literally see this on social media, because they're sheep that can't think. If you attack something they don't like, addressing it is not a feature in their wheelhouse at all. The only response they have is an attempt at redirection. Defend your point on grounds they can't, terminate the conversation. The apparatus that programs them may be sophisticated, but the minds that go through this process become so primitive and stunted, it is quite frightening. See, when you look at this whole affair in a sort of engineering or programming perspective, it becomes much more interesting. Think of Andrew as a program in the Matrix that's gone rogue. And you can see the machines go to work in real time, commanded to go and make him a target, and the NPCs get updated with marching orders to hate the guy, even though they know absolutely nothing about him. A good example of this was his brief little spat with Gremlin Greta, and more people should use that name because it's funny. I have no issues criticizing that thing because Greta is not even a real human. She's a product of indoctrination. She's a political prop composed of flesh and bones, and that's it. So when you see the machine cogs start going to work and the gushing orgy of mindless Nimrods come steaming out after whatever young gimp works the Gremlin's Twitter account, saying, "Ooh, little dick energy, oh my god, only rubbing nipples, la 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 la." This is a conversation among adults in the 21st century. Considering the level of technological advancement of our age, to see such pathetically infantile antics qualify as standard discourse is utterly embarrassing for our species. The level of sophistication in our social interaction is so primitive, it's no wonder I'm such a pretentious git. Someone on Twitter pointed this out a while ago. She is the exact same age as Kyle Rittenhouse, same birthday and everything. 2 years ago, Kyle Rittenhouse was an adult, according to the press. 2 years later, Gremlin Greta is still a kid. But remember, girls are smarter and mature faster than boys. Funny that one, isn't it? It's almost like the press is, full of shit. It's so weird to encounter this because if you have a clan of people, and yes, I did choose that word deliberately, who hate watch Andrew Tate, who despise him, will hate the very ground he walks on, should you encounter one of these low-life miserable cretins and profess you like or even think he's alright, they will think your approval is an even ratio with their intensity of hatred, and you will unleash a raving banshee. We saw this with Trump, you see with Musk, and now you see it with Tate. Has nothing to do with what you did or what you do. It is purely on who you stand with or who stands with you. Now the allegations of whatever, I don't believe any of those for a second, especially if they involve human trafficking. Look at how the machine works. If they want to get rid of you, they'll throw up some BS charges about sex. They did this with Clarence Thomas, they did it with Brett Kavanaugh. What happened the second he got onto the Supreme Court? Accusations? Foomp, gone. What accusations? What are you talking about? Notice the pattern. It's never something they did recently. It's always years ago. Which tells me either A, you assholes just want a reason to take this guy down now because he's disrupting the machine. Or B, you knew what shit this guy was doing years ago and you didn't give a damn then. But you thought this was a convenient in case of emergency break glass kind of a go-to when shit hits the fan. Look at the lemmings who are publicly purporting to be ired by Tate's antics. Lame pundits and Hollywood rejects. Do they give a damn about trafficking across the southern border or the perversions of Hollywood? No. They didn't say jack damn shit about Epstein, but I'm supposed to believe those wankers now all of a sudden give a damn about human trafficking. You must be fucking kidding me. You can piss off. Free Top G. And that is all for today. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.